Driving this truck around, it feels normal. There's no abnormal drivability issues. The check engine light is on, but it's not running rough until you go to accelerate. And then this big V8 feels like a 4-cylinder. It just lacks a lot of power. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Knowing we have a check engine light, that's always a great place to start scanning it and seeing what code we have. This happens to be a P0420, which is a catalytic converter efficiency code. This is a catalytic converter, and it's part of the exhaust system. When your engine is running, it's drawing in air and fuel. When it burns, it needs to go through this. And if this is plugged up, that's going to cause a restriction, slowing you down, and also causing a check engine light. So if you need a catalytic converter, you can get those at 1aauto.com. The code we have is the P0420, which is bank 1. That happens to be on the driver's side on this vehicle, and the bank 2 right here, which is working properly, would be a P0430 if we had a problem with this converter. Now, one thing we can check is the temperature from the converter going in and going out and see how different it is. Checking the front temperature. Now the vehicle's been off for a little while. It's almost 160, and at the back it's a little more than 110. So we're talking about a 50-degree difference. Another way to check this is with a back pressure gauge. Now, not everyone's going to have this, but we're going to show you how this works. Now we're going to start the vehicle up. At idle, we should get a pound or less of pressure, or at 2,500 RPMs, we should get 1.5 pounds or less. So this back pressure test did not show us anything significant. Now this converter could be just starting to fail and plug up, and that's why we didn't get a false reading or a failed component reading. A couple more things to check is if there's any exhaust leaks anywhere near the O2 sensors, that could cause a false reading. Also, if you have a scan tool that can actually read the data from the O2 sensors, and you notice the front O2 sensor and the back O2 sensor are following each other, then that's not good. The converter is not doing its job. It's not burning that extra fuel. The back O2 sensor should be moving a lot slower than the front one. But chances are, if you have a P0420 or 430, you're going to need catalytic converters. So let's go ahead and replace these. All right, the new converters are in, and it really wasn't that difficult of a job. They do come in sections, so it's easier to install. When taking some of the old converters out, they are all together, all one piece, and it's kind of difficult. It's easier just to cut the old pipes and put the new ones in nice and easy. Looking in the old converter, it is kind of hard to see because there is a bend in the pipe. If you had a borescope or a camera that can go down in there, you might be able to see it a little better. But what you're looking for is the honeycomb and seeing if there's any spots. Here we have another bad converter that you can see there's spots all over the honeycomb, and that's not good. This converter is plugged up solid, just like ours over here. Something you want to think about is the O2 sensors. They don't always come out that easily, and they could potentially have caused some of your issues with your converters. If the readings are not reading properly, they could be sending too much fuel into the converter. That's going to cause the converter to break down a lot quicker. So it's always a good idea to replace the O2 sensors while you're doing the converters. High mileage on a vehicle could cause your converters to break down. They're not going to last forever, but an improperly maintained vehicle is going to make them break down even quicker. You want to make sure you replace those plugs and wires regularly, otherwise that can cause an issue. It's running great now. We have the acceleration back. The catalytic converters were plugged up, and that was causing our issue. So if you need catalytic converters for your vehicle, or O2 sensors, or even tune-up parts, get those at 1aauto.com. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel, ring the bell, turn on all notifications so don't miss any of our videos.